Ladies and gentlemen, geeks and nerds, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Logic. And today we are kicking off in the nether because I want to build a blaze farm. Oh yes, so I've been scouting around and this is a fortress pretty close to all their other stuff. And I've been looking for something in particular, obviously blaze spawner, which is, there you go, there's a blaze spawner right there. But luckily for us, there is also another one right here. So those are pretty close together and it looks like they're going to be at the same level. Looks like they're in line with each other. So there's one there, and then looking across, look at this again right there. So that is awesome. So we'll be able to stand somewhere in the middle and yeah, get both those two activated and get all the blaze rods we need. Now of course we need to design up a farm and work out what we're doing. Obviously we're not going to use someone else's design, we're going to do our own thing. But first of all, before we get into that, we need to clear all of this out because we need space around these spawners to build. And it just so happens that I'm about to go live on twitch.tv and it's going to be my stream night. So I think on stream I'm going to clear all this stuff out, and when I come back we'll see how well we did. All right, let's get into that stream and clear this stuff out. And here are those blaze spawners. It's after the stream and we are done. So we've got most of this done on stream on a Monday night, and then the next day, today, I cleared off the rest of it. We left a bit to do, so I've got all that done today. And yeah, here are the two spawners, and look at these, directly in line with each other, same height, everything. And these are 18 blocks apart. So now the tricky thing is to come up with a design. So I've got a bit of an idea of what I want to do, but let's hop into a creative test world and yeah, run a few ideas. Here we are in the test world, and I've recreated the same layout that we have in the nether. So here are the two spawners, same distance apart, 18 blocks. And I've marked out the spawning area of a blaze around it on both sides, so we get an idea of what we're dealing with. And now it's time to yeah, design up a farm. So I've got an idea, and my idea is to create a roller coaster. A blaze roller coaster. So obviously I know there's a whole bunch of designs out there at the moment where either you can use the Blaze's AI to funnel them into a point, and there's ones where there's a bunch of pistons that kind of push them into a central block. So I know about all those, and yeah, we could do that, but that's not very interesting. We want to do something new. So yeah, I want to build a roller coaster. And how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, let's talk about how we're going to kill these mobs. So obviously the blazes will spawn, and we need to player kill them to get the blaze rods. So what we want to do is we want to get them into a 2x2 area. Because this is an even build, we'll have a 2x2 in the center somewhere, and then we want to obviously chop them up. So it takes 3 hits, 3 to kill all the blazes. But what I'd like to do is soften them up before we start killing them and take down some of their health so the kills are nice and easy. And that gives us a perfect excuse to do something extra. So the normal way to soften up a mob, in particular blazes, is to drop them into a hole just like this, and then have a block extend on a timer that will damage them over a period of time. And then before they die, you release the block, and then you can hit them with one hit, and they will die because you've taken down some of their health. Now, what I want to do is, as I said, I want to do a roller coaster. So how about if we do this? How about if we somehow pick up the blazes into a minecart and then send them along their way and stick their head into some blocks. So as they're traveling around on this roller coaster all over the place, they're taking the same damage they would have taken in a crusher. And then just at the right time, we'll take them out of that before they die and then drop them into this thing so we can kill them and get the blaze rods. All right, so I've got a few ideas of what we need to do. So let's go through the process. The first question I'd like to answer is how long can we keep our blaze in our suffocation roller coaster before it actually dies? Because obviously we don't want to kill it before we get the chance to. So let's do an experiment. So I've already done this to work out the numbers, but let me show you. Let's get a blaze in a minecart and travel along here, and you'll see that when it gets to the end of this road, it will in fact die, just like that. But if we replace the last block with just, you know, a transparent block, either air or a glass block, just for illustration purposes. And if we do this again, here he comes, he's coming in, and what's going to happen? He survives. That's right. So that is a length of 74 blocks. So as long as our roller coaster of suffocation is less than 74 blocks in length, then we are good. Now we could make it longer than that if we wanted to, so we can exchange some of these solid blocks for transparent blocks like glass that don't damage the blaze. So that's a way to make this longer if we need to. But also what I want to do now is work out what the minimum is, because When we're killing these blazes, we're obviously going to be using our actual sword, our sharpness 5 sword with sweeping edge, that kind of stuff. So let's see what's the shortest we can make it and make sure we can kill all of the blazes in one hit. It turns out the answer is 43 blocks. So here is our setup that we've just been using to work out the maximum distance, and the minimum distance is 43 blocks. So I've just sent these two guys along here, and I've been experimenting with different lengths, and I've fine-tuned it down to here, which is 43 blocks. And we want to make sure that both these guys die with one swipe with the sweeping edge sword. So if I hit this main guy, he'll take most of the damage, and the second guy will take a bit, but yeah, he should die too. So here we go, ready? Wait. And they both die. That's what we want. So if this is 1 block shorter than this, then only the main guy dies, the second guy doesn't. So we need to make sure that our roller coaster of suffocation is at least 43 blocks long, but up to a maximum of 74 blocks long. So that's that. So now the next question is, how are we going to get these blazes into the minecarts? And the answer is this thing. Oh yes. So here is prototype. Probably prototype version number 20, something like that, because I've spent a lot of time working out some bits and pieces. But before we talk about this thing, we need to talk about this thing. Oh yes. So this is my failed attempt at a blaze farm. So you may have seen this in the background because I recorded a whole bunch of stuff about all the different design decisions around building up this farm, but I've decided just to scrap all of that because it was getting too long, too complicated, and this farm just doesn't quite work. It's a bit too complicated for its own good. And I think the lesson here is simplicity is always best, because the more complex something is, the more chance it is of breaking. So let me give you a quick overview of this, super quick, just so you can see where I was going with this and why we ended up what we've got over there. So let me turn this thing on, this lever right here, and this is going to launch a fly machine that goes across, and it's going to push the blazes into this hole right here. The blades will fall down and land on this rail, which will then release all of these minecarts, which pick up the blazes. If they come up to this thing right here with this tripwire hook, and that will detect if the minecart's got a blaze in it or not. If it's empty, they'll go this way and land into this fire. We'll talk about that in a minute. And if they've got a blaze, they'll go forward along here. They will go across this activator rail right here, and then land in here, which is the killing area. So that's where we can kill the blazes. And then the empty minecart will then go around here, go forward, and end up in this fire right here. So let's talk about this. So for the first one of the other iterations I had some cactus, but we were losing minecarts. They were getting destroyed by the cactus. But I worked out this is a better way to do it. So if you add a hopper minecart underneath the fire inside that nether rack, that will take priority. So the minecarts land in a fire, the fire breaks the minecart, but before the item gets destroyed, the hopper minecart sucks it up and it goes into these hoppers, and then it goes back up this quick little item elevator into these hoppers, and then those minecarts end up back in these dispensers ready for being deployed a second time. Now how do they get deployed? Well, when the fly machine comes over to this side, it's this observer. We activate this piston, which then releases an item. There's an item in this hopper that goes round. When it comes back, we'll see it hopefully any second. There it is. Yeah, there it is. There's a blaze rod. So we've got a blaze rod just sitting here, and then it gets released, and it will fly down. Oh, let me go this way. It flies down all of those hoppers, and as it does, the comparators read it as it goes, which activate. There you go. There's comparators blinking. So they read the item. They will fire all of these, which send off all these minecarts to pick up all the blazes. Now that works a lot of the time, but also fails a lot of the time. And so you end up with minecarts bunching up, bouncing back off of each other because there's too many of them. And yeah, it just doesn't work. I also had some problems over here where the activator rail, it would work most of the time at the beginning, but if you've got a build up of blazes, what would happen is the blaze wouldn't then shoot out, or this would pick up another blaze because they're too close to the edge. So then you'd end up with blazes going this way towards the destruction area. So yeah, a good idea maybe, but too overcomplicated and doesn't work. So let's go and talk about this revised, simplified version. So now you've seen the overcomplicated failed attempt. Let me show you the simplified version. And yeah, I think this is gonna work. This is gonna work. So this is a roller coaster. So first of all, this part here, from here down to here. This is obviously shortened a lot, but that needs to be a minimum of 43 blocks of damage, so 43 solid blocks we need in that roller coaster, up to a maximum of 74 blocks of solid blocks. So let's make sure we won't kill them before we get to the killing area, and obviously make sure they're softened up enough for us to kill them. So as I said before, we can mix up some transparent blocks if you want to extend the roller coaster longer. But yeah, there are the numbers, and that's going to be this part right here. But this is shortened just for demonstration. So over here is where the blazes will end up. So we're going to use the fly machine like we did there. That's going to go along and push them into a channel. It's going to be 9 wide. This one's just 2 wide for demonstration. So there's a bunch of blazes. And the problem I was having so many problems trying to pick up the blazes in minecarts. It turns out it's pretty hard. I tried many things, but the thing that I actually ended up sticking with is this thing. So the pistons. If you can extend the piston, it'll push these blazes right up against this side of the chamber, and if they're right up against the edge, then when a minecart goes past, it will pick them up. So let's do that. So if we turn this on right here, we'll dispense out some minecarts. It'll go along, it will hit this detector rail, which will extend the pistons, pushing the blazes across. The minecarts pick them up, and then at this part they'll go through the roller coaster of damage. They'll get onto this part right here. So there's an activator rail right there, which will eject the blaze, and it's going to try and eject it onto that block right there. But the piston is retracting. If you can see that, yeah, that one right there. But what happens is once the minecart goes past, it hits this detector rail right here, which then depowers that piston and retracts it, so the blaze falls down into the killing chamber. So that is all good. And then rather than destroying the minecarts every time and then redeploying them again, we just put them on a constant loop, so they just constantly go round and round, picking up blazes. And that's it. Simple as that, really. So all we need to do now is extend this part and make it a fun thing. In my mind, I'm thinking that it's going to go all the way around the farm and sort of in and out, and should be quite interesting. But we'll see how that goes. And then when we're finished, when we want to turn the farm off, we can flip this lever, which sends the minecarts into the fire down here, and they get destroyed, just like the ones over there. And I should have turned that off. And they go back into the system, back into this dispenser. So they'll come back in, and they'll end up right in here. There you go. So then it's all reset, ready to go for the next time. So what I need to do now is I need to just start building this up in survival, I think. So we'll start off with the fly machine and this enclosure. I've also added these dispensers on top with lava, so we can turn that off to increase the light level so blazes don't spawn at all. And yeah, this has taken me more time than you might imagine. So yeah, let's get into survival, get into our world, and let's get this thing built up. Stage 1 of our roller coaster is complete. So here we go. There are the spawners inside, and I've created these the glass boxes around the outside to contain the blazes, and I've added the fly machine on both of them, and also the pistons that are going to push them forward so they can get picked up by this rail right here. Let me just pillar up quickly. So there you go. There's a rail right there. So the minecart's going to come this way across there, hit that detector rail, which will activate the pistons. The minecart will go past and pick up a blaze that's going to be sitting in a little trench right there that's been pushed along by the fly machine along there. So I've still got the glowstone inside to stop the blaze spawning, but I think it's time to give that a test and get that removed. I've added lava into the dispensers above, and at the moment we've got a couple of switches, one switch for the fly machine and one switch for the lava, and we've got that on both. So I'll combine them and get them into a central control center shortly. So yeah, let's get rid of this glowstone. So before we go in, let's take a fire resistance potion, because I'm sure those blazes are going to start spawning as soon as we start taking out the glowstone. So Let's see how this goes. And hopefully we don't break the spawner. Be super careful not to break the spawner. There we go. Going to make sure nowhere near it. And let's just take this out as soon as we can. Here they come. Already spawning. Let's do this quick. Okay, we're almost there. And now they're really spawning really quick now. Last one. Right. Okay, they are going to start coming in. So let's see if we can escape using the power of ender pearls. There we go. Right. Okay, there are the blazes. Right, let's turn on the fly machine and see if they actually end up in the trench where they should. Let's test that bit. This one. There goes the fly machine. And they should end up in here. There you go. Oh, yes. Awesome. All right, so that bit is working. That is good stuff. All right, so let's pull the pillar up here. And in fact, this glass walkway, I think, is going to be where the killing area is going to be. So I can stand here, and the idea is we can stand around and watch the blazes gather under here, ready to get picked up. And also we can see the minecart go across and pick them up and go off that way. Now, when we're here, I'm thinking that if we stand here, we'll be able to see the roller coaster in all its glory. And then on this side, this is where we'll have the killing area. Now, the thing we need to be careful of is that these blazes might despawn if they go outside of 32 blocks from the player. So the killing zone might not be right at the edge. It might be maybe in the middle, maybe here, something like that. And then we can just walk over here and we can see the blazes doing their thing, and then we can come back here and chop them up. So yeah. So this looks like that's working. So I'll give this one a test as well on this side. And then we need to do the killing area. We need to do the minecart launcher on this side. And we have to obviously build the whole roller coaster on this side. And yeah, have fun watching these blazes flying around. Okay, let's get on with that bit. And I'll bring you back in. Phase 2 of the farm is now complete. We've got phase 3 to go and then we're done. But here is the killing area. So, all right, let me show you what I've done. So this might... I'm not sure how easy this is going to be to see. So it's a good job we looked in creative beforehand, so you get the gist of what we're up to. But it's getting quite kind of, because these spawns are quite close together, it's quite compact and maybe hard to see what's going on. But don't worry, hopefully I'll show you as best I can. But anyway, we're here. This is the glass platform I showed you before, and here's the killing area ready to go with our hoppers and collection chest underneath. And you can see up there I've added the pistons and the block that the blazes will try and land on when they get ejected from the minecart, but those pistons will retract as we've seen before in creative, and they'll fall down here to meet their demise. Oh yes. And so over here we still have to do the actual roller coaster itself, but that is the last thing to do. That's the thing I'm going to do next. But yeah, so I've done the killing area here. I've also added controls for all of the things. So in the fullness of time I might turn this into just one on and off lever, but for now, to keep things a bit easier for me, I'll do them separately. So we've got one that controls the lava, so we can turn that on and off in both farms. We've got one to launch the minecarts, and we've got another one to launch the fly machines. Now the reason we have to kind of do these in the right order, because if the fly machine is going when there's lava about, then the lava can update the observers and break the fly machine. So yeah, we just have to make sure we do those properly. And I might, as I say, I might turn it into one switch in the future, but it's kind of cool just to have like a control panel. So yeah, kind of cool. And yeah, so I try to use rather than just having one solid block, I'm using kind of yellow, orange, and reds. So here we are on top, and we've got a whole bunch of redstone. So the levers you saw before, they're underneath here, and they control this set of pistons here and this set of pistons here. And these things basically run redstone cables over to the fly machine over there. This one runs into the dispensers right here, this middle one, and this end one here, same on the other side, runs all the way over here and controls this shenanigans. So we have this controlling basically this block, that block right there, that rail. So that rail will either stay as it is there, so the minecarts will go this way, or it will turn and the minecarts will go straight on, depending if the farm is on or off. And what that means is that down here, as you've seen before in our little prototype, we have minecarts can come off of this one, fall in a fire, and then go into the dispenser. So that's where we turn the farm off, and they'll stay there, because this other line through the slime block, this one here, will turn off the timer so it doesn't dispense anymore. So that's that bit. And if it goes down this line, it will land on that angled rail and then go onto this rail and then go back into the system. So that's where the rails will, and yeah, the minecarts will loop around and go round and round and round until we turn it off, and then they'll end up in there. So that's that. I think that's everything we've done so far. But one thing I'm really looking forward to, I've done a tiny bit of the roller coaster, which is those rails right there, and they go right underneath the glass platform. So when the farm is running and we're standing up here, let's go up again. Oh, there we go. So when we're here killing the blazes, there'll be actually blazes going right underneath us with their heads inside this glass. I think that is going to be super cool. So yeah, man, put a lot of work into this, I'll tell you that. All right, so the last thing then is to yeah, do this roller coaster. So this is where the minecarts are going to come from. We're going to go this way from here and this way from here, and then we've got to go in this way, and then they're going to go that way, and then they're going to go out and end up on top, and then end up in here, and oh geez, it's going to be all over the place. But yeah, let's do this and let's make a roller coaster. My oh my, minecarts in Minecraft are not so great. Oh, okay, so I've set up all of the rails, and I've given it a test with the minecarts, just on their own, just the minecarts, and they kept getting stuck all over the place. There was, I think I've fixed them all now, but there was basically whenever you have a turn, like this one right here, if you have a turn next to another rail, then they can bump the rails, the minecarts can jump over, it seems. Or they can bump into each other, even though they're on separate rails. So I had to move a couple of different ones, one over there, another one over there, and there's one up the top there. 3 of them I had to move around to try and stop minecarts bumping into each other. But yeah, I've given it a test, and all the minecarts go round, and they don't get stuck anymore. So it's time for a one big test. This is the first time I've done it, end to end with everything. So I'm a bit nervous. So we need to do this in the right order. So let's turn off the lava first. Let's make sure that all goes down. Here we go, and then we should get some blazes spawning. Okay, and once it goes down below the observers, we can start the fly machines going. There they go. Off the fly machines go. Blazes getting pushed already. That's good stuff. And now we need the minecarts. Here we go. Let's check it out. What does it look like? Oh, there we go. They're getting picked up. They're taking damage. Right, let's see. I might have put too many blocks in, so we're going to see if they actually survive or are one hits. Now, we are going to get empty minecarts if there aren't blazes to pick up, but that's all right. And hopefully... Oh, there's something coming underneath us. Ah, look at this. Lots of empty minecarts, but we need more blazes to spawn. That's all right. Here they come. Let's see if we can watch a few of these. Oh, yes, this is going well so far. Lots of blazes going around. Oh, man. This is great. Should be coming underneath us. There we go. And there's some in the... Yes! There's some in the holding cells. They're coming in. Here they go. Right. So it looks like it's working. They're coming in both sides, which is great stuff. Right. So the test now is, will they die with one hit? Let's have a look. Ready? Oh, check it out. It's working. And there are some blaze rods. Oh, yes. Right, let's head into the camera account and check this thing out. So here we are in the camera account, and you can see the blazes getting picked up. And let's follow them on their journey. So it's all a bit spaghetti. They go up here, go along here. And then he's going to drop down, go down this way, go here. Then he's going to go underneath us. Then he's going to up the top here, in here, and then should end up in the killing area. There they go. Check it out. Let's watch a few go into the killing area. Check it out. Here comes one. He's going to go there and there. Here he goes. Goes around this way, goes up there, goes up the top. Follow him along. He goes down here. Well, and he go underneath. There he is. Follow him along this way. Then he goes up here, around, takes some more damage, goes up, and into the killing area that way. Oh wow, there's so much going on. It's hard to track. But look at all these blazes in here. Oh yes, this thing is insanity. And I think I found an awesome name for this, and I think I'm going to make it the name of the episode. This is the Blazing Saddles roller coaster. Here we go, time for some more blaze rods. Yeah. Oh, check out the XP. Oh yes. I think it's time to try and turn this thing off and see what happens. So again, we need to do things in the right order. So let's turn off the minecarts first. Then we'll stop the flying machines. And once they are docked, then we can turn the lava off. That one's docked. And so is that one. Let's turn the lava back on. There we go. That'll stop any new blazes spawning. Let's wait for all the minecarts to finish. Looks like there's no more going round. Right, now let's check the minecarts and just make sure they all made it back. So there should be 10 in total for each one. So we should have 9 in here and 1 in here. Yes. And in here, 9 in there and 1 in the hopper. Yes. It's all working. Brilliant. I think I want to do a bit more decoration around here because all of this netherrack is a bit not very nice. And yeah, I've had a few ghast spawn in here, so we need to make this we need to make this spawn proof so we can stand up there in safety. But yeah, all the vision of the blazes is blocked, so we shouldn't have any problems from them. But yeah, I think that is a job well done. And that is about it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then please hit that like button. And if you're new, then feel free to subscribe. Check this out. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, then get it in that comment section. All right, my geeks. Until next time, I will see you later.